Turn the radio off. Okay, gonna do a video. I've been working in Toronto for a couple weeks, and it's 300 kilometers from here. By the time I get home, I don't feel like doing anything. You know, my back's been out for the last 2 weeks, and it's about 90% right now. So what I'm gonna do today is work on the FLHTC right here. It's got no spark from the previous video there, and this still has the original pickup on the engine here. So I'm going to drill that out, and I'm going to put in this all-in-one Ultima programmable digital ignition system. And I thought I ordered it brand new on the internet. That's what it said. Here it is. It was all tied together. It looks like brand new. And then I'm looking at the instructions, and I look on the back, and there's writing on it. Number 1 off, number 2 off, 3, 4, and 5 are programmable. So I hope it's not used. That'll piss me right off. So let's drill out that cover there. Okay, get my finger. Yeah, we're in there. It's got the original rivets in there still, so. Come on. There's that one. Get my pick. Got the furnace on. It's below freezing tonight. We had about 16 inches of snow there about a week ago. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, come on. 7:30 seconds. This has been off before. Somebody's RTV'd it on there. This one came right out with the, I'll have to put that in the vise. So you gotta put this at top dead center on the front cylinder, but it doesn't matter at this point. I can take this off. I don't think it's, I can mark that. I'm just gonna cut that wire to get it off. It's a freaking pain to get it out. I got it disconnected over here. Okay. Okay. I don't know if they do this in your country, but it's pretty common in here. And I think both of my Harleys, like I just bought these Harleys used, and I'm pretty sure the other one has one on it too when I looked at it. And it's supposed to be for safe travels. Also, a lot of the bikes come with St. Christopher's cross, and the motorcycle jackets, when you buy them, come with St. Christopher's cross and sewed into them. Safe passage. Nice to have this up on the hoist. I just had that thing in my hand. Three-eighths Allen head. To get out the timing mark right there. That linkage ever feel loose back here. Okay, now I got to put this bike on the center stand, put it in top gear, and get the front cylinder at top dead center. Take the plugs out, turns over easier. There, not there, okay. in fourth gear. Okay, feed this in there. This is going to be a tight squeeze, I can tell. I can tell that hole's going to be too small. It would be nice if that would go in there. Wow. Oh, I need a pick. Oh, I'm going to have to drill that hole a little bit bigger. Hopefully I can push it through. Gonna see shit. It's the next morning. I was working on this last night. I can hardly bend over. My back is so stiff. But I got the harness through that little hole there. I actually sprayed a little bit of it's kind of like a WD-40 oil on the sheath. And then it slid through a lot easier, and then I just wiped off the excess oil, and then I put the well, I got the bike jammed at top dead center with this 6x6 under the back wheel, and let's see if we can see the marks here. Light there. Get a pointer. Right there, there's a little V slot that's in the derby cover, and then there's another opposite V slot in the electronic ignition. So I got those two lined up, and that's just to get you close. And I'm going to get the wires all hooked up, and then I'm going to rotate the wheel a little bit. There's lights on here. And I just turn it up. I'll turn the wheel just a little bit. I really should have two people. I really need somebody to help me. My granddaughter's coming this afternoon. I might get her to help me just to make sure our timing's pretty damn close there. And that light will come on if I turn it just slowly, and this should line up at the exact same time, and the mark on the other side. Let me just show you there. Let's see here. Where did it go? I think it moved on me. I think it moved on me when I was doing the wiring last night. That's why I need somebody here to help me. But so I got the wiring hooked up. Just wait here. Yeah, this is the black wire that goes to the vacuum solenoid on the carburetor. That goes to the purple wire. The blue wire is if you're using dual coils, separate coils. You don't need that, so you cut it off. I'll tape that up. The green wire goes to the pink tack wire. And the white wire goes to the right side of the coil, the positive. And I think the other wire, what color was that one? Pink. Pink goes to the left side of the coil. Yeah, you can see a little better here. Yeah, the pink wire goes to the other side of the coil. And I should have spark right now if I turned it over. Maybe I'll stick a wire in there and see if I got spark, and then when my granddaughter gets here, we'll time it a little bit better. I had this, I had that whole fairing, everything off yesterday, and I got it all back together. I got the signal lights working. I bypassed the signal light module with 2 relays, and because the signal lights weren't working. That side. And that side, and I'm gonna wire in a 4-way flasher switch on this one here. But I need a 5-wire relay to do that. I'll rig something up. So yeah, let me crank it over and just see if I got spark. I should have spark the way it is, and then when my granddaughter comes, we'll have to set it to top dead center again. And maybe it'll show me if my tac's working too. I just cranked this bike over. I didn't have spark. I didn't show that part of the video, but I didn't have spark. And I'm thinking, what the hell could go on? So I made sure I got power here. Actually, my little LED lights are lighting up on the pickup. I know the timing's not right because I need help doing that. But then I started looking here and I noticed on the other side of the coil, here's the pink wire that runs up to the it's pink and black, runs up to the tachometer. I forgot I'd left it on there, and on the coil, and I guess that grounds it out or something, I don't know, but no spark. So I pulled that off and I got spark now, but that's where the green wire goes into that pink wire that runs up to the tachometer. So the kit gives you connectors for all these things, and yeah, I just wasn't thinking clearly there. So I pulled this off. Yeah, I got spark, and it also says in the instructions that, let's say that pink wire was cut off or broken, and you wired this thing directly to the coil, you'll damage that new CDI unit, the electronic ignition. So don't do that. Don't hook it to the positive or either side. It's got to go up to the tachometer this way. So that's what I'm going to do now. They give you lots of wire. I'm going to cut it off. Tons of wire. I always like to use the crimper where the seam is, so it squishes the seam in. Works either way, but this works best. Bullshit. Bullshit. What the fuck happened there? Didn't have it pushed in far enough. Oh, that blade's too, this blade is too big for that one there, so I'm going to change that one out. They gave me 2 sizes of blades, and that's the wrong one. Oh. back's killing me. Okay, this is the, so this one fits in here. It's gonna fit like that. Okay, I'll fix these wires a little better. There's a bad ground there off of the, I think the horn. Gotta fix that too, put a loop on here. Yeah, there it is there, it's broken off right there. Maybe I can solder that on there. But just to show you, I got spark. Spark now. Let me dim the lights. Like something because it's been sitting for a year. Forgot spark. Just got to clean it up, the wiring a little bit better, and put the tank back on. Fire it up. I'm charging the battery up. In here, it's drawing a lot of amps right now. If you're ever worried you're overheating your battery, I always kind of feel it, see if it's getting hot or warm. Well, it's a couple days later now, and I've been to Toronto and back again all day yesterday, 12 hours. Time I drive there and back and stuff, but I didn't show it on video the other day there, but I had my granddaughter come over and we set the timing up on it. Had her turning the back wheel while I lined up the marks, and yeah, there's factory marks on there, and I put the new ignition module on. And you just lined up with the factory marks, and man, it's pretty much bang on right there. Now when I get it running, I can put a timing light on it. We can try that. But so I fired this bike up, and well, I'll tell you about it first. Maybe I'll fire it up for a second. I just don't like fuming up my garage because I'm trying to keep it warm. But it's only running on the back cylinder. And it fired right up, pulled the choke on, and it started up, and it went chug, 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 and just sat there and idled beautifully, nice and quiet, smooth, but on one cylinder. So first thing I checked right off the bat was spark on the front cylinder. Yeah, and I got good spark, good compression there. And what I'm leaning towards is the carburetor intake rubbers, the O-rings. And I didn't replace them, and I was gonna, and so now I'm gonna pull it apart and order those. But you know, everything I've been doing here, this is kind of one of the reasons why I haven't been putting out many videos. Nothing's going right for me. Just fucking nothing's going right. Like this bike, it should have started first or second kick, and good compression, good spark, everything. And then like I said, look back at my videos and it hasn't run in, it'll be over a year and a half. So I left the gas in there. I pulled the fuel lines and everything all off the tank, so I thought it would have dripped and drained out, but the fuel line, it held the fuel in there. It held it in there in the float bowl. So I should have pulled the lines right down, then it would have siphoned out. And I'm sure the idle circuits are plugged on those things. And what I'm trying to do now is just get these bikes all together. I got to get that one all together this week. I got to get this one all together. I'm going to work on the Suzuki today and get this buttoned up because I got to get this off the hoist and pushed outside. And I'm going to put the FXR on the hoist and push everything over here because my wife's having a party this week and there's going to be like 20, 25 girls here. And this is their smoke and drinking room out here, not in our house. So I got to get this whole area cleaned up. I'm probably going to go out for the night and watch a hockey game. So that's why I'm really trying to get all this done here. But there's one other thing. When I put this carburetor and everything back on there a month ago or so, I think, or I don't know, 3 weeks ago, the carburetor was off. It was in pieces. The guy took it all apart and he shoved a rag or paper towel in the intake manifold. I think the intake manifold was even loose. I can't start to remember now, but I just tightened everything all up. And then I put the carburetor and the breather all back on. And I was second guessing myself. Hey, did I pull out the paper towels out of the intake? You know, he shoved one in the intake on either side, and I was kind of second guessing. Geez, I said I must have took it off because I would have seen it when I put the carburetor on, you know. So the whole time I've been thinking, did I pull the paper towel out of there? Like maybe I pulled it out of the one cylinder, and maybe there's one stuck on the intake on the front cylinder. So now I'm really second guessing myself now why that thing's not running on the front cylinder. But I'm going to replace the intake rubbers and pull that carb off, and I'll have a quick look to make sure I didn't leave the rag or paper towel in there, because that would certainly cause this problem. The other thing that will cause this problem is this bike sat in the guy's garage for, everybody says a year, but it was more likely 2 years with the amount of dust on this bike, that if a mouse got into the exhaust system and built a nest in this pipe here somewhere. Because it's working off the rear cylinder. The rear cylinder's getting nice and hot. The front one's cold. So that's a couple of issues going on here. So we got the spark, we got the ignition working now. Now I got a different issue is to get it running on the front cylinder. So I'm going to pull that carb off real quickly here and have a look. I hate to pull it even apart because I think I'm going to save that for another day. I got to get this garage cleaned up. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to call that the video for the bike running, and I put in this oil pan under here because the thing has sumped. It's been sitting for a year or two, and it's spitting oil out the breather pipe, so that's why I put that there. Maybe I'll just show you that this bike does run real quickly here. Let it run and shut it off. My back is still pretty damn stiff. Pull the choke on. Put the gas up to there's on. And this bike, it's very cold. I haven't started up in a couple days. And yeah, the gas was actually backing up and coming out of the breather a little bit too, which kind of makes me think that that front port's plugged. Turn that on and give her a start. Give her a couple cranks. That's another thing I want to check too, if that accelerator pump's even working. Come on. Yeah, well, you get the idea. It runs running on the back cylinder. I'm not going to keep fucking with that. It'll foul the plug out. Probably fouled out now a little bit because I was just running it on that one cylinder with the choke partially on. So, carburetor or intake problem there. Another video, another day. Let me just get one video up. I'll get this video going. And then I'll do one on the Suzuki. I'll button this thing up, solder the headlight in, and get this all buttoned up and park this outside. So I got some room in here. That'll be next.